also by the CMO vertical, which as mentioned above is expected to double over the fiscal year. Now again, on the key risk side also, there are a couple of factors that they've mentioned that we should be watching out for. One is any further signs of any senior management exits or resurfacing of the NDMA concerns related to the RAN tag will be on a watch out. Along with this, another is the aggressive amortization policy of the acquired policy also. That is something that we should be watching out for. So again, JV Pharma was in focus with these reasons, but as mentioned earlier, 8.63% of an intraday of gain that it has been seeing, it has come down from those levels now that we are looking at.
Thank you so much, Anushi, for those details. And on that note, let me introduce you to the guest for today. We have Lancelot Tikuna, who's the CIO at ValueX Wealth Connect, and Rajesh Palvia, Senior Vice President, Technical and Derivative Research at Axis Securities. Welcome both of you, and thanks for joining in. Lancelot, coming straight to you on JB Chemicals and Pharma. Kotak seems extremely constructive on the counter 15% upside target price. Do you also feel the same? And considering the kind of reasons that they've given in 13% organic domestic sales over FY24 to 27, and a couple of other reasons that Anushi pointed out as well.
Yes, Smriti, I think, there has been a lot of positives in this company's development or growth outlook for the next couple of years. And those reasons will help improve profitability both on an EBITDA front as well as on a PAT front. But when you look at, it's trading at almost 50 times trailing earnings. And if you project for the forward earnings, it would trade at about 38, 39 times forward earnings. So I think in that sense, it is, a little expensive at this point in time. Maybe if it does correct, around 10-15%, then one can accumulate this buy it at a lower multiple, because then your downside risk is a lot less. There could be, negative surprises in a quarter or two that may see some, price correction when the stock is a bit expensive. So while it is a good company to look at, and the pharma sector is doing well, we've seen for most of the other pharma companies also, there have been positive news as far as US exports is concerned, and the new drugs that are being allowed for manufacture there in the US. So it is definitely worthwhile to look at, but I think pricing is a little bit, everything seems to be priced in positively for this stock at the moment.
Okay, fair point. All right, let's jump straight into the queries now. We've got several that have already come through. I forgot to mention, in case you've got questions for us, we will put that number on the screen right now. And you can send all of your questions to the WhatsApp number on the screen. In fact, you can also send it to us on any one of our social media platforms. But the first question we're taking is on DMart and Avenue Supermart, in other words. Jaydevi is asking about this. She's bought at levels of 298. And she's wondering whether hold or sell. And this is quite I'm not even certain about the buy price. Rajesh, I think she might have meant 2,980. But what would you do with something that you're holding right now?
So I would suggest, she should hold the position, as overall structure for the stock is on the bullish side, though some consolidation is happening in the stock since last couple of weeks. But looking at the overall long-term structure, it's in a bullish trajectory only till stock is holding above 4,400, 4,500 level. Trend is likely to remain on the bullish side. Once stock manages to cross above 4,950 zone, then maybe possible upside target or rally can extend to 5,400 kind of level on the long-term perspective. So I think for long-term, yes, our recommendation would be to hold on DMart.
All right, understood. The next question is from Akib Javed, who's writing in from Jamshedpur. The counter, they're actually talking about a couple of counters, but let's take the latest one that they're asking about, which is LTI Mindtree. They bought the counter at a price of 5,227. It's slightly trading above that price. And this is from a longer term perspective. So Lancelot, coming to you on this one, for somebody who's holding from, a lower level, should you continue holding on to it from a longer term perspective?
Yes, Smriti, I think L&T Mindtree is, after the consolidation has been offering good returns in terms of, good growth on the revenue as well as margins are reasonably stable. And we are seeing an improvement in the overall environment for IT companies, especially with many of them absorbing technologies on the artificial intelligence space, and that could generate more sustainable business going forward for them. So one should remain invested if you are looking at a 3 to 5 year perspective in L&T Mindtree.
Okay. I will actually ask the next question to you as well. And this is on Wipro, since you've already spoken about LTI Mindtree. Gautam from Mumbai has bought at levels of 532, which is more or less where the stock is right now. It's up about 3% in trade today. And he's looking at a time frame of the next 12 to 18 months, Lancelot. Is this also something that you would suggest holding on to?
Yes, I think Wipro will also improve, the performance will improve over the next couple of quarters. And we have seen in Wipro, there has been a change in the top management. So the new management will come in to implement, different strategy going forward. So you can expect that the past issues that Wipro had in terms of lower order book accretion and in terms of its manpower issues, those should get resolved or get addressed at least by the new top management. And so things should be better. Question is that whether this is the time to add to the stock. I think one can wait for a bit of correction and then buy. But if you're already holding the stock, you can hold on to it for the next 12 to 18 months. You should see better results driving the price up further.
All right, so that's a hold on Wipro. The next counter is Take Solutions. The question is from Jaya. They bought the counter at a price of 33 rupees. It's currently well below that price. Rajesh, for somebody who's holding at such elevated levels and the stock has given negative returns in the last 6 months, do you see any sort of upside from here on? And the time period is 1 year, so they can hold up to 1 year.
So if I analyze on multiple time frame, stock is in downtrend. The series of lower top, lower bottom formation is there in the stock on the weekly as well as on the daily chart. Still in this recent upmove, stock not manages to cross its previous swing high also. Stock is trailing below to all its near-term, short-term moving averages. So overall structure is on the weaker side for the Take Solution. Even if I think if I take a view for a 1 year time frame, still underperformance is likely to be there in this stock as the longer term structure is on the bearish side. So at this moment, I already bought and holding the position in losses. So I think now one should follow the strict stop loss, because 18 rupees is very strict stop loss to follow if you are holding the position even at current level also. Because if it slips below to 18 rupees, then maybe furthermore downside we can see towards 14 level also. On the higher side, 24, 25 is the immediate challenging level for the stock on the higher side. If it crosses 24, then there is some possibility to recover to the purchase price. But our advice would be, if you get opportunity near to your purchase price, you should try to exit from this stock and switch it to some other stocks.
Got it. Greenwell Norton is the next counter that we're talking about. This is a question from Suresh Babu. He's writing in from Hyderabad. He's holding on and he's held this for a period of 2 years. The stock is currently at 2,799. I do not know exactly what level he bought at, but assuming that he's held for this long, Lancelot, the question is, should he continue to hold?
So I think one should continue to hold Greenwell Norton, because going forward, you are seeing an improvement in the sector. There is a lot more demand for, their products, and given the expansion in the economy, both on the manufacturing side, you will see significant, growth coming in as far as revenues are concerned, and the cost management being in place. I think things would look better for Greenwell Norton. So one should continue to hold it.
All right. It's time to slip into a short break, but on the other side, we'll take more questions. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. We were in the middle of taking your questions, and the next one is from Sushila, who's talking about the counter NHPC. They bought at a price of 78 rupees. It's currently trading at about 100 rupees or thereabouts. Lancelot, this is from a longer term perspective for somebody who's bought it at 78, currently trading at 100. The stock has doubled in the last 1 year. Do you see more upside for the counter? And if there's a target as well, do tell us that.
Yeah, I think it's doubled in the last 1 year, so almost all future positive growth in the company is already factored into the price. So it's very difficult to see, unless valuations remain stretched at this, and continue to remain stretched for long. Very difficult to see this kind of growth again in the stock performance. But from a business perspective, they have been implementing various projects in Northeast India that have been commissioned. And renewable energy is a focus area of the government as well. So there'll be a lot more clearances in expansion of further projects. And given that, the hydro is becoming a positive focus area for development of the energy space, you should see this company grow, but it takes time to put up projects and generate profits and grow profits. So given that scenario and the fact that the stock has already doubled in the last 12 months, I think one should wait for some serious correction before looking to buy into the stock if you want good returns from the stock going forward.
Got it. We've got a question from Sambit, and I'm hoping that I've got the question right. He's got Oracle Financial Services, OFSS, and he's trading options. He's got 11,200 call, which he's bought at 158, and he's asking whether to hold. I'm assuming that this is for the July expiry. Rajesh, any view on this one?
See, overall structure for OFSS is on the bullish side. Very strong buying action we have witnessed in the last month, and again, follow-up buying action is taken place in this stock. So a flag formation breakout is already done on a daily chart. He has bought a very out of money call option of 11,200. That is a very extreme strike from the current market price. I think at this moment, till the stock is holding about 10,000 level, there is a high possibility that stock may attempt to continue further upside, and possible upside we can see towards 10,700, 10,600 kind of zone. When the stock moves around those level, I think at that time he should try to exit from this call option. I think at that time this call option will move to around 220, 230 kind of zone. So I think that would be the area where he should try to book profits. But at this juncture, 10,000 should be the stop loss to hold the position in this call option. If it breaks below 10,000 level on spot level, cash level, he should try to exit. So that would be the stop loss I'll suggest.
All right. Next question is from Shikha, who's talking about two counters, Devyani International and Restaurant Brands Asia. The question is that should you accumulate at this point? Now, both the counters have done nothing in the last 1 year. In fact, have given pretty much negative returns. Lancelot, do you see this changing in the future? This is from a longer term perspective. Do you see, based on the fundamentals, the sales picking up, considering we've seen a bit of a downturn in both of these counters?
I just missed out the names. Can you let me know?
Devyani International and Restaurant Brand Asia.
Right. So I think, both these are in the food business, and you will see some amount of growth coming into this business. As inflation has also come off a bit, I think you will see some improvement in sales as well as in margins for these companies. But it is going to be a difficult business going forward, because the expansion that will take place will take a longer time for it to break even, given the higher fixed costs that we see in the company. But from a long-term perspective, yes, these are good franchisees to acquire, and the business growth is looking good. So one should look at accumulating some of the food-based companies, including Devyani and Yum Foods.
Chambal Fertilizers is the next counter that we're talking about, and it's had quite the run over the last 1 month. It's currently trading at 520 or thereabouts. And Abraham from Kerala is wondering whether the momentum will take it past 550. Rajesh, what's the view? It's a stock that has gained over 25% over the last month.
So definitely, I believe that the way stock is now, managed to give breakout of rounding bottom formation on weekly as well as on the daily chart, that clearly shows that, yes, there is a high possibility that, stock will continue its upward trajectory. And then sector tailwind is also there. Most of the fertilizer stocks are, moving up in the anticipation of some positive announcement in upcoming budget. So I think, yes, there is a high possibility 550 target would be there in a short period of time. At this juncture, I would advise to keep a stop loss of 505 to hold the long position.
All right. Next counter is Infibeam Avenues. The question is from GC Prakash. They say they bought the counter at a price of 23 rupees. It's currently trading above that price. It has doubled in the last 1 year as well. Lancelot, do you see this sort of trajectory continuing for the counter from a longer term perspective, of course?
So unfortunately, I don't really track this company, so I don't have much information on it.
Okay, Rajesh, could you tell us the key levels and if you have a target on this one? Infibeam Avenues.
So stock has moved up, but again, since last couple of weeks, there is, supply pressure in the stock, and stock corrected from its recent high. Looking at the near-term, short-term structure, it's in consolidation. A lower side support area is placed at around 28-29 rupees. So if it breaks below 28 rupees, then possible, down move can extend further. Though since last couple of weeks, there is a sustained supply pressure is there in the stock. On the higher side, the immediate supply zone is placed at around 34-35 zone. Until the stock not crosses those level, may remain under pressure for any kind of minor pullback. So I think keep your stop loss around 28, and if it's you break out above 35, then yes, stock may attempt to again move further higher to 40-42 zone.
Got it. State Bank of India, this is a question coming in from Dilesh Joshi. He's writing in from Mumbai and he wants to know whether to buy at this current level. The stock is trading sub 850. Lancelot, I think this is a good question. He's looking to buy for the long term for a large bank that is continuing to grow at double digit. I'm talking about its lending book. Would you suggest a fresh entry at this point? And what are the kind of targets that you would put on State Bank of India?
So I think the business has grown, fairly well, and his business is robust. State Bank of India, from a technology perspective, has been able to, gather a lot more customers using the app, and business of the payments has taken off very well for the bank. So given that background, we are seeing fairly high, strong deposit mobilization coupled with loan growth. And, the NPAs have come down significantly. So yes, State Bank is a buy for people's portfolios. And however, valuations at the moment are relatively on the higher side. So one should start maybe buying in small lots at this level, but any correction, you can use it as an opportunity to add to your position and hold on to it.
All right. The next counter is Tata Investment, and this one's from Swastik, who bought it at a price of 7,644 rupees. It's at elevated levels. Rajesh, would you suggest holding on to this counter? We have seen a massive upside in the counter in the last 1 year.
So since last 4 months, stock is consolidating very tight range. Stock is moving in range of 5,800 on the downside, and on the high side, 6,900 is the upper band for this consolidation. Though long-term structure for the stock is on the bullish side, after a strong rally since last 4 months, it's in consolidation. We believe that the way the broader market is behaving, there is a high possibility that stock may attempt to give breakout on the higher side of its consolidation range. So 6,950 needs to be watched on the higher side. If it's processed those levels, then next target would be around 7,500 to 7,700 on the higher side. So he may hold the position. At this juncture, we would advise to keep a stop loss of around 6,100 to hold the long positions.
Got it. All right. That brings us to the end, unfortunately, of this edition of Ask Profit. Lancelot as well as Rajesh, thank you so much for joining in and for all the valuable advice that you dispensed over the course of the last half hour. Viewers, well, I hope that this conversation has been beneficial to you and the stocks that we've discussed today have helped you in some way. That brings us to the end of this edition of Ask Profit. From Smriti and myself and the team that put this show together, that's all, but lots more coming up over the course of the day. Do stay tuned.